Well, hello, and welcome to Opal City Confidential, a Starman podcast, episode 68. We're going to be covering Starman Volume 2, issue 52? No, not 52, 35, and Infinity Inc., issue 51. This is the last of the Mr. Pip storyline and the death of Solomon Grundy. And we're going to take the next episode, the next issues after this build toward the next big wave. This is the end of this, in a way. We're going to see some things, and we're going to talk about that. But this is the end of pretty much a big chunk of the first act of Jack's story or more. So let's get started with issue 35 and start with a little bit of data about the book. This comic was cover dated October 1997. It has a beautiful Tony Harris cover of Starman battling the Infernal Dr. Pip in his exoskeleton. It is written by James Robinson. Pencils are by Tony Harris and Stephen Yao. Wayne von Graubadger is the inker. Bill Oakley and NJQ are the letterers. Archie Goodwin is the editor. Again, the cast is Jack Knight, Starman, Batman, Sentinel, the original Green Lantern, Alan Scott, Starman, Mikael Thomas, Ted Knight, The Shade, the Adair family consisting of Clarence, Hope, and Matt. The Infernal Dr. Pip is there. So is Sadie Falk, and the Floronic Man are there too. There is no synopsis to this one. This has been reprinted. Oh, wait a minute. I got to say, this has been reprinted three times, because it is in a not hardcover omnibus, the softcover omnibus, and Compendium Volume 1, which is what I am reading it in. So let's me go through this comic real quick, and I'll just give you the plot real quick, and then I'll give you my thoughts on how this is a good ending and a lot of other things. One, it starts with Michael standing in the ruins of a building, the building where him and Solomon Grundy were in when it collapsed, when it was blown up. And Clarence has come to check on Michael. Clarence is now he's the liaison between superheroes and the police and Opal now. He's the oldest of the Adairs, and he wants to check in on Michael because that's his job. He checks in on the heroes to make sure that they're all right and they're surviving, and he knows that Solomon meant something to him. And this is a good another, Robinson and Harris and all the creators are building these relationships between characters, and I really like that. I really like they're going to show us that Michael's grieving, and that that grieving is being taken care of by Clarence. I love that. We get to see the heroes that were inside Grundy's mind saying goodbye. Batman gives his answer to which is his favorite Woody Allen movie, which is Crimes and Misdemeanors, and which is a mediocre joke, but I kind of giggled. But they all say their goodbyes. Jack rushes home to see Sadie. He rushes home to see the woman he loves. They embrace compassionately, and they make love off panel, and then they're talking. And he starts going, this is some good stuff, because a big moment in their relationship is coming in a couple issues. I was petrified. Are you crazy? This is her speaking. I was petrified. Are you crazy? My boyfriend tells me he's going into a swamp creature's head and he might not come back. But you did come back. And he responds, God, I feel bad, hon. I feel like I failed Grundy, and when we were in there, I felt useless. I couldn't do a thing. It was my dad. He saved all our butts. Boy, you should have seen him. He made you proud, huh? Like you wouldn't believe. And I like that. We then see Matt and Hope Adair having a conversation. She has figured out he's a dirty cop and gives him a smack. And it's a nice moment where he is telling her that he knows, yes, I did do all these things, but I'm being saved. The Shade is helping me. She's a little leery of it. But he just says Shade sees something in him. They get the call that something's going on. And we cut to the damaged building. Where there's a call, they all head there, and then you see all of them facing Dr. Pip, inside this. It looks like the cargo thing in Aliens, and he's gonna get his last revenge or whatever. He's gonna blow up the building and kill them all, and it's just this long. He gives this long diatribe of why he's doing it. It's all the things that it's coming here. And even Matt can't convince him to we'll get the kids out. They're all trying to convince him, and he's just telling them why. And just as Jack and Sentinel are going to use their powers, something happens. And all the people's superpowers all over the age goes over. And that is because there is the Wonder Woman K of Children of the Gods or Gods thing is happening. And it takes place on those 2 pages. So they're without powers. Pip's about to blow it up. And then all of a sudden... we go for the Steven, art, because the Shade appears and we get lovely Tony Harris, and the Shade shows up and sucks Pip into a vortex. And the end. It may sound like there wasn't a lot going on. There was a lot of talking. Mr. Pip we're seeing Matt explain to Hope where he's at. We're seeing Clarence explaining to us that he's going to look after the heroes and that he understands that Michael's grieving. We get to see that Jack's proud of his dad. His dad was a hero in front of him. Their relationship is changing, getting better. But we also get what's going on with Mr. Pip. And I want to kind of talk about it. I want to back up and talk about that. He has this great thing. That is correct, Starman. I am the bomb. This suit. And this is my final fiery artwork. It's late, true. Office workers have left, but like many skyscrapers in Opal City buildings, businesses on the lower floors and residents in the upper level. How many levels? 10, 11? Clarence, 14. 14. All the better, and all the more families I'll be sending to oblivion with me. And Ted goes, your bomb suit, it will reach up to the Chandler's upper floors from down here in your Ford. None of your other blasts were that big. No, but this to be my last hurrah. Big. You have no idea. And he is just such a nasty take on it. It's like, but the cut to the point, he was hired by Carter Sloane to kill his wife. He would tell Pip when she went to buy him a sweater at a department store, so blow up the department store. And then Sloane kept paying him more and more explosions until he was satisfied that it could never be traced back to him. Bigger and bigger. And why the final bomb? Because Starman fucked him up, and his whole body is built into that suit, and he is dying. So he wants revenge. So the more people, the better. Dr. Pip is a great villain, and I'm glad that he's a one-offer, and I'm glad that Shade shows up, because the reason Shade saves him is because this is his town. It's Opal. He loves it. And even the Sentinel was like, what is going on? I remember you as a villain. It's like, things change. But it's the whole thing, Infernal Devices into Happy Pranksters into this issue, which is called, which I forgot to tell you, is called Mr. Pip and Mr. Black. Great title. I really like this issue. I like that it was, you feel like it was definitely a coda. It's definitely a coda. I mean, and to give Pip his long speech, it's a lot. It's pretty much really, and I don't mind wording. I mean, it all, what Michael is thinking about the past, the whole conversation that he has with Clarence, the conversation, everything, Hope and Matt, the short conversation with Sadie and Jack is important. It's all important. It's tying us up, because next issue is a Will Payton Times Past. And after that is the annual, where it's multiple stories. But we find out Sadie's secret. And I think, to me, it is the best thing we find out. It is one of my favorite things about this book. It makes me love Jack. It makes me love Sadie more. And I'm not I'll just not say what this thing is. Most of you will know what it is, but I'm going to be kind of nice in case someone isn't. It's a really good, it's just, we're getting to an important thing, and then we're getting to talking to David. So I'm excited. So let's go on to Infinity Inc. 51. And I want to first give a disclaimer. I have not read this far into Infinity Inc. I went to college when Infinity Inc. was still going on. I got up through the early McFarlane stuff, and I've jumped in and out. I've sold all my Infinity Inks. I've got the hardcover one, but it's on the app. I will read it one day, but it's not complete on the app, I don't think. So I had not read, so I had to kind of go do some homework, see what it was. It was issue 51. It was cover dated June 1988. It is called A Death in the Family. It has a Michael Bear cover, and it's a pretty good cover. I like Michael Bear. He's an acquired taste, but I like him. He did a lot of stuff with Roy, and the art was never. And it's good. It's okay, man. I like young All Stars. I like All Star Squadron. I have problems with how it ends and how this ends, but I think I need to read Infinity Inc. before I judge this. So it's written by Roy and Dan Thomas. Michael Bear, Lou Mana are the artists. Bob Downs inker. Color is Liz Berube. Gene Simic. Wow. Letterer. Roy Thomas. Mark Wade. Editors. And this one says, the wedding of Hector Hall, Lita Trevor, is a prelude to Infinity Inc.'s worst day as Skyman is murdered by the Injustice Unlimited, and Mr. Bones is framed for the crime. Lineup for this is Jade, Obsidian, Sandman, Hector Hall, Sandman. He's in the Kirby costume, the Kirby 70s costume. Power Girl, Skyman, which is Sylvester Pemberton, Nuklon, Alec Rothman, Brainwave Jr., Fury, and we're in the era where Fury is still around. Wildcat, the Yolanda Montoys, Mr. Bones, Dr. Midnight, Beth Chappell, Rick Tyler, Hourman, and Northwind's only in a photo, but we also have Johnny Thunder, Johnny with an I, the private detective, Joan Dale Trevor, Miss America, her husband, Stripesy, in a flashback only. He's in the main story because he's told he's there when he's dead. Dan Richards, one of the Manhunters, the one that had the dog, and some other heroes, and Sylvester's cousin or niece. Niece is there. The Mary with the 1,000 tricks. Injustice Gang is Solomon Grundy, Harlequin, Marcy Cooper. The Dummy, Icicle, Cameron Manheck, Armistice Croc, and Hazard, Becky Sharp. I really got to read some of this. So the plot of this is very simple. I mean, the first half of the book is really, the first chunk is their wedding, and it's tying up all the loose ends from 50 and an annual, which is right before it. And the team's getting kind of pared down. And I don't know how much, I can't remember how much longer this book's lasts. That's not much. I'll be looking let me look that up while we're talking. But I picked this because it is a famous story where Solomon Grundy in this book likes Jade. She follows him around. He never becomes a member of Infinity Inc. like, say, Mr. Bones, who was a villain, does it. It's never that. But the idea that there's a gentler Grundy comes from this. The Frankenstein with the little girl without killing her, or, with the blind man. That the monster wants, the Frankenstein monster wants just to live his life. And so is this Grundy. But he's just manipulated, which is horrible. And I don't know this Harlequin. She's a new Harlequin to me, but she basically makes Bones think she's Jade, and has him bring only Sylvester to where Solomon is, and provokes a fight. Sylvester is hurt very quickly by getting punched across the room by Solomon Grundy. And Dr. Bones goes to help. Mr. Bones goes to help him because he's thanked, earlier in this, he's thanked Sylvester for helping him be a better man. Him being in custody and fighting with them has been good for him, and he feels that he's done something good. But it's all in manipulation, so he takes off his glove to kind of to kill Grundy, to use his cyanide touch to kill Grundy. But it's all a trick. Harlequin, in the disguise of Jade, has him Grundy grab him by the hand because his cyanide touch is not going to affect Grundy because he's just dead plant life. And he touches Sylvester's face and kills him. And they knock him unconscious and leave, thus framing him. So the Infinity team, he goes to Beth because he's wounded. And this is the issue where we find out, I think this is where we find out that he's African American. That when she does something with some laser beam because she's blind, it makes his skin and organs visible, and she can see that he's an African American man, which she didn't know. But he escapes. She fixes him up, and then they find out, and he's on the run. And the next arc is the smaller team, minus Sylvester's died, tracking down Mr. Bones. It was okay. It was pretty good. I wish I don't have context. I haven't read all the issues, and I didn't take time to do it. I like the art in it. It's something about this era that has some really, I don't know, not some of the best art, but I like Michael Bear. The other guy's good. They always had a heavy inker for them on these books. Even McFarlane had some heavy inkers that maybe some a little more polished would have been better. But I don't know. But it was an okay story. I'm going to start a reread of Infinity at some point. Start with the hardcover Generation storyline and then go through it on the app. But I've got other things to read. I am reading the Justice JSA Compendium 1. I'm doing it in 4-issue batches, trying to do 1 or 2, 4, 8 issues a day to get through it. I like the mapping in it, and you'll get to see it on the end. It's great, folks. Me and Kirby are going to do an episode about it when we're all done. But this is the end of my little Solomon Grundy thing. I thank you for patience. Episodes are coming out. I really can only get 1 episode out a week. I try to do 2. There'll be 2 this week because I'm home after dental surgery. Excuse me if you can. I'm not wearing my lower plate. I'm getting a new one, and I've had some surgery on that lower jaw, so my voice may sound weird. But I've got things planned. We got something big planned. Getting something set up. I think you'll like it. I have a big guest coming up. We'll be recording next week. I'm excited. It will get inserted somewhere in between these. It's something to do with Opal City. Then I got I got 3 big issues to talk with Dave about. I sent out feelers to kind of do that after the new year. There'll be a pause. You will not see another Jack episode until after New Year's. Because I'm going to just do regular stuff, or I still probably do a Will Payton before the break. And I want to do a Legion episode. So that's blah, blah, blah. Me just saying what's coming up. Hey, I hope you enjoy these. This is a short one. I just wanted to make sure I did this one. I'm just more excited about what's coming up. And I really appreciate all the help. Please, if you haven't listened to Sunday's episode, I think that's when I dropped it Sunday, Kirby's first new crew review, his covering of Captain Carriot solo is amazing. He does voices. It's a blast. Please listen to it and please share it on the interwebs. I did wait a minute for a recommendation. I have one, the JSA Compendium. Just check it out. It's worth your time and money. Hey, and be safe, be smart, please be kind to one another, and read some comics.